You are quite welcome to raise your hand and connect as we practice together. And even if you don't, we'll be sitting together. But your willingness to engage with me is your offering in the support of my practice.
Yeah,
It's good to see you, Helen.
thanks. It's great to see you. I just wanted to say that really shifted something definitely with my perspective and even brought me to tears actually,
Mm.
and rattled something open in me through that. So thank you for helping me to
Of
unfold.
Yes, yes. So something. It's interesting how this. I don't speak about it this way very much, but how this energy does move uh, through the teachings, and if it's met as like set up some sort of resonance that does bring forward something strong in us.
Mm. Yeah, really, really strong. Uh, and the idea of the practice is the way we naturally will find our real place
Hmm.
is um is an image that I think it's going to really help me and stick with me. And I love plants and animals, and I study them. So that for me will be to really change my perspective. So thanks for the shift. And
Good. I'm
yeah.
so glad. Thanks for the affirmation. It's nice to hear it because I get an idea of that got transmitted somehow. That's good. Where are you located,
Chorley,
and where
so
is that?
near Preston. So I'm part of
Okay, yes,
Leyland and Lancaster group.
right in that area. Yeah, I usually trains in Preston. So
Yes,
thank you so much, Helen.
thank you.
I know that part of what happens and is probably required, and Helen's touching on it some, is a good bit of integration. Because I know that when someone said the other day, sort of jokingly, I think they were poking at me a bit, of course, in doing so, but they said it's like a Dogen fire hose. you know, it's, it's so much. Um, it takes a while to integrate um, what comes at you. And once again, don't try to capture every bit of it in your mind or understand just what moves in response. And you don't have to tell me, but attend to what moves.
Your your button should be there
Okay.
now. There you go.
Hi, Flint. Just very basic. When I'm going to hope that I can remember the three readers. I think it was Judy and Jan and Lynn.
Yes, you did. You remembered.
Um, that's what really moved me. And your instruction to not focus on understanding everything, but maybe it's something very early, just in kind of being read to.
Hmm.
But I mean, I was aware at a very basic level of the circle and the continuous. That was all I was getting from the voices, and it was just very, very moving and beautiful. And I appreciate that instruction.
It sounds like the voices were beautiful and gentle invitations for you to step into the circle with them,
Yeah,
which is
I
what I
think
hope. That's what I felt. I felt that sort of vulnerability and the way that someone would take such care to read to you. It's not just reading.
No, they all read so beautifully and, paused and, to let some of the words sink in. No, nobody was rushing, and also very distinct voices as well. Yes, yeah, the
So they
invitation.
were essentially taking good care of us by taking good care of their reading.
Yes, yes, very much so. I really appreciate them very much and your instruction to listen in that way.
And I know that you have a background in dance, and it's as if these words and these things are like music that your body
Very
starts to respond
musical,
to.
very musical. Yes,
Uh,
yes. I was
and
responding like I would to a song.
yeah, and just between you and me, before we go, it doesn't hurt that they, well, I'll say after I started teaching in the UK, I said I'm never going to read poetry again because because Americans, we hear these beautiful voices, in what we think is an accent, of course, and there's a beauty to it, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Hi, Flint. I think I feel maybe a little bit like Helen, and I just wanted really to say, wow. um, um, I feel from last night that I'm feeling a sense of momentum,
Hmm.
and I loved that process of reading, hearing the paper read yesterday and today. Um, and in the small group today, after Trudy's talk, I shared something from a retreat that I've been on recently. I'll just give you a short piece. It was recently on the mountain, I lost myself, merged with sky and waves, bones, earth.
But one thing,
About that.
one thing you might try if we can't hear is if you stay on, but you click off your camera for a moment, and maybe we just have the audio and see if that's any better.
Any
Now,
better?
the piece that you just read,
Yeah.
can you read it again for
Yes.
me?
Okay. Recently on the mountain, with sky, grey, bones.
And switch back on your camera. So it was not any more intelligible that time than it was the first time. But you can hear me, right? It's like some of these teachings. It's like I don't really understand it, but what I do understand is something about what you're trying to convey. I can see it in your face and I can hear it in your voice, even though the words didn't quite match up. And I see the bit of joy. And remember, I spoke about a swell of gratitude mixed with humility and a kind of a surrender. And I see all of those things moving in you. So the communication is there, even if we have the technical struggle with the audio from your side. But I can see in your body there's a brightness in that. So am I touching on what you were conveying, even if I didn't understand the words? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, it's so good to see you. I I'm in the middle of a field, really, in a hut, so I might have a very wobbly, insecure internet as well. Yes, a deep well of gratitude is coming up in me of how interwoven everybody's speech and your teachings are. And when Trudy was talking about the trees yesterday, and as I've been going through today, my perspective has, I feel like I've turned into sort of a drone, but a drone that can go down under, you know, when you were talking about going down as well, so powerful for me. And something about it almost, I loved watching you unfold your lineage, your chart of your lineage. And my perspective was making me think about what went before. And I've been so connected to the trees and the forests and the natural world. And when Trudy was saying that the trees like it, the trees like it, and how when there aren't people around me sitting for me, the trees and the plants and the animals kind of do it instead.
They're always doing it. That's how we're verified by the 10,000 things.
And I think as I'm just over this last few days, the perspective is that it's shifting from kind of an intellectual belief around that to a real felt sense of it. And I'm very grateful for that.
That's the shift.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful to see you. How are your horses?
Pardon?
How are your horses?
Oh, they're all wonderful and very fluffy. They've all just got their winter coats. So thank you. And our teachers, constant teachers.
I thought so.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have to just come forward to thank you. I was listening to you, wishing I could bottle the effect.
Say more. What do you mean?
Well, the sense of expansion and liberation. The places that you spoke to expanding. And unfortunately, I don't think I can articulate it at a level of my words.
Well, what I want to remind you of is that you needn't, just to use your imagery for a second, you needn't bottle that. You're in the bottle. You are that expansion. You are that. It's the shift in perspective of realizing that is you can apprehend it, you can feel it, you appreciate it. There's some way in which my words offered you a step into it. And so I'm understanding that what you're basically saying is you don't want to quite lose it. You'd like to be able to rest there more easily and more frequently, or somehow more fully. Am I getting what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. It's the reminder that your words connected me with knowing that.
Good.
No, and the relief of already being connected. Yeah.
And those, whatever words I offered in my energy and offer them, is the function that moves through me. So I step into something that looks like being a teacher, but I have to non-abide as a teacher. It's just a function. But without you coming forward and asking, then it doesn't call forward the aliveness of that function, that road. So we're sharing it now. We're enacting exactly that circle.
And this movement to come forward is like, I think what Trudy said yesterday about touching the tree has touched lots of people. And there's something, it's like a physical, like, I want, something in me wants to move towards you, but the
What's moving through me?
yeah, something here recognizes that and wants to get close.
That's the essence of student-teacher relationship. This recognizes that and wants to get closer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Spoken about it, and then you said, but I don't usually say it that way. You were talking about shift of perspective.
And what remember what I was saying that I said I don't usually say it that way?
Yes, I do because I have it written down here. You were talking about it can loosen something in the body.
Mm-hmm.
That a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious about that because and like a lot of people are talking about the leaving of words behind feels appealing and it feels loose.
Yeah.
And you said the energy does move. Quote. You said I don't usually say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to comment on that. And then since I've been thinking about that, I've been seeing it all over the place. Like with Ra, she was at first not having the words, and then she articulated it very well. Of this energy, flowing. And anyway, can you talk about why you don't talk about it that way, and what it really is, and stand on it?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't remember why I said that now. And not to be coy about it, but we have been talking about it by every person who's come forward, and you've alluded to it. That's the way we talk about it. I wish I could remember the distinction I was trying to make by saying that, but I actually can't remember now. I know you've put it in a context of where I said it, but I don't remember why I chose to say it that way. But the loosening in the body, you're starting to see it. That's what's important. And it's at the core of grief.
Yeah.
It's something that moves in your body.
Trying to understand some of the experiences, have lives of energies that created spaces in our body, and then other people talk about energy, and Judy mentioned energy out there, and
Yeah.
and this whole thing is just really kind of percolating for me. I'm just trying to integrate in a way.
It's kind of a mystery, isn't it? Of what it means to be in a body and yet not defined simply by the body.
And it seems like an important piece to understanding without understanding of it. And it was when you were talking about Prajna Paramita, wisdom beyond wisdom, that you brought.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's an understanding that's beyond words
Yeah.
and beyond grasping. It grasps you. You don't grasp it. This is the Rakasu that I sewed for my priest ordination. And on the back of it, and as you do on Rakasus, you can see this one is a little stained and dirty. It's old. Blanche wrote a little quote, as they often do on these things. And it's a quote from Dogen. And it says, realization, neither general nor particular, is effort without desire. This awakening is a wholehearted effort to live one's life without desire. And so I'm living with that. It falls on my belly here. And let the energy of my hands and her hands making this together, her writing, the energy. But that's all around us, whether it's a rakasu, whether it's a tree, whether it's the body of your daughter, or the absence of the body of your daughter. I can see the picture of your son behind you on the wall, your stepson, and then there's an energy.
All of them
Yeah,
are
all of them. Yeah, his jumped out at me because it's very clear, and remembering my relationship with him and the energy. Is it still happening? It's a mystery, isn't it?
interesting you mentioned effort. That was grabbing me. Effort without desire. So on our break or we
Uh-huh.
were not walking, I'm going through this, trying to understand how I can let her carry me and how I can see her.
Mhm.
And when I said, Jeb, how can I let you carry me? And kind of like how do you let the sun rise in the morning, like.
Yeah.
And then this a monarch flew or came across my vision closer than they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
It just grabbed my attention because it was floating.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't, and then all of a sudden it did a little wing flopping, but then it floated again, and it was mostly just floating, and it felt like effortless. Yeah,
And maybe that was her message.
yeah, that's what it felt like. And now when you said effort without desire, that's kind of an effort.
Effortless effort. Thank you for telling us that. It's beautiful. That gives us an image to complete with today, to float to the next thing. It's good to be with you. And I do see that we're at the end of our time. And so I will say good evening to all of you, or good afternoon, wherever you are. And I realize that I have a limited amount of time with you in these pieces, so I know I give you quite a bit. I hope it's rich and digestible, though. And I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Thank you very much.